Ladies and gentlemen, this is Carol Hansen. Around the world, in over 100 countries and colonies, there is one emblem that is a universal monument to kindly Christian service. That emblem is the red shield of your Salvation Army. While this red shield, probably the best-loved badge of service on earth, is familiar to every race, color, and creed, doubtless few of you have a clear idea of the many things for which the red shield stands. Most of you know little of the vast network of services behind this emblem. A few facts are known to all. For instance, the militant step and martial music of the Salvation Army Band in its march to the street corner devotional meeting. Or the Salvation Army truck with its slogan, "To help others, call the Salvation Army." And nearly everyone of that period remembers that the Salvation Army World War I. Yes, these are facts known to practically everyone, but a host of others of even greater importance have too long been obscured. Let me take you with me behind this red shield to see the Salvation Army at work in a typical medium-sized city. In this typical city, the Salvation Army maintains a permanent plant with ample facilities for the Red Shield program in operation there. This plant, built by funds raised from public subscription, is dedicated to the glory of God and for the benefit of humanity. Here, as on every Salvation Army unit throughout the world, we find the Emblem of Service. To maintain this plant and its services, three vital factors are required: money, methods, and men. But the greatest of these is men. Men are never hired for Salvation Army officership. They are carefully selected, pass rigid tests, are trained, guided, and supervised by older, experienced officers, and serve voluntarily without pay. They progress through the ranks as soldiers, lay leaders, musical directors, youth leaders, and specialized operations. These voluntary activities engage his leisure hours away from his occupation as painter, mechanic, truck driver. At some point, he may feel a divine call to devote his life as an officer in the Army's ranks. He interviews his corps commander, and if he is within the required age limit and possesses the necessary educational background, he is advised to make formal application to the Officer Candidate School. The nearest headquarters candidates board reviews his application. If his qualifications and recommendations are in order, he is ordered to take a thorough physical examination. Passing this, he receives notice of appointment to the West Point of the Salvation Army, its officers' training college. The first week of September to the training college, where he will take a year of resident training. His studies and training cover such fields as the Bible, Salvation Army doctrines, methods, homiletics, social work, group work, music, and other important subjects. These give the cadet a well-rounded, intensive training. Cadets are lectured by seasoned, experienced executive officers of the Army. They learn, too, from seeing and from the practice of the subject study. The training is thorough and exacting. Here, as in every worthwhile educational institution, some fail to measure up to requirements and are washed out. But for those who successfully meet the requirements, there is a commission and an appointment awaiting at the end of the resident training. The student officer's assignments or appointments at a ceremony known as the commissioning of cadets. Diplomas are presented by the chief officer of the territory, known as the commissioner. Receipt of this diploma gives the cadet the status of a probationary officer of the Salvation Army. And in this capacity, he is an ordained minister of the gospel. But his training is by no means ended. For 4 additional years, he will do correspondence and project work. His studies in the more important subjects will continue. At the time of his commissioning, the officer receives his assignment to our typical city. Here, he may act as assistant to an older and more experienced officer, or if capable, will be placed in charge. Directs an amazingly broad program of spiritual and social activities in the interest of the entire community. In the direction of this program, he is assigned by an advisory board of representative men and women of the community. These men and women, drawn from all faiths, support the program of the Army because it serves without regard for race, creed, or color. Chairman, a prominent merchant, a well-known doctor, a clergyman, a local judge, and others are happy to serve as advisors to the Salvation Army officer. He mingles with the men of the community in service clubs and other groups. In this case, he belongs to Kiwanis. He enjoys a normal life with friends and neighbors, has his hobbies, and one of his greatest pleasures is his family. His wife, who has undergone the same training, holds equal rank with her husband and shares his responsibilities. She acts as counselor to women applicants with their many problems, leads women's and girls' study groups, sewing groups, and recreational activities. She supervises other women workers in a wide range of activities with women and girls, educational, morale-building projects, developing arts and talents, building better women and mothers. Stories from the Bible are illustrated with photographs, the modern storytelling method. The niceties of being a gracious hostess. And in the classes in baby care, no one enjoys it more than baby Virginia. And it isn't Saturday night either. Finger painting isn't art at its best, but with elbows, forearms, palms, and fingers, colors assume weirdly artistic forms. The Girl Guards of the Salvation Army is one of the oldest and largest girls' organizations in the world. Their activities cover a wide project range of arts and crafts, indoor and outdoor. A worthy miss is receiving an honor award for exceptional merit. Advertising plays a vital role in every salvation. Every day, all over the country, in dozens of newspapers, may be seen the ad that means hope to hundreds of girls every year. It means peaceful, understanding sanctuary to the girl with little or no funds, without friends in her darkest hour of need. any girl in trouble or distress, call Mrs. Smith, the Salvation Army. With rising hope, tinged with curiosity as to how her problem will be solved, she sets out to keep her appointment with Mrs. Captain Smith of the Salvation Army. Mrs. Captain Smith has had a wide and varied experience with this particular problem. Her reception is gracious, full of understanding for the girl's deep emotions, their mingled fear and hope. She quickly puts the girl at ease and obtains the basic facts of her case, which in all cases is held in strictest confidence. The girl is told about the facilities of the nearest Booth Memorial Hospital. Here, in an institution strategically located, the girl will have the best in hospital facilities, kindly understanding professional care, the area's best obstetricians, functioning on a low minimum fee basis, pediatricians for expert baby care. All this and more, even though the girl be penniless. When she leaves the hospital, other services will assist her with her baby in reestablishing herself, and if for economic or for more personal reasons she does not care to assume the role of true motherhood, she will be given every assistance in placing her baby for adoption with one of the carefully qualified childless families who will give her baby everything she cannot or does not care to give it. It is natural that the girl quickly accepts the promise of such a marvelous solution of her problem. Arrangements are made with the superintendent of the hospital. And so the girl takes her departure for her new adventure. Often parents or a friend may appear for the girl, but in any event, experienced, efficient, confidential understanding solves the problems of more than 8,000 such girls who enter the Salvation Army hospitals each year. But life is not all problems and burdens at the Salvation Army. Tonight it's carnival time, and the youngsters are having hijinks. The proceeds from this affair help to finance a hospital entertainment group. Entertainment for convalescing and seriously wounded veterans in the military hospitals. It may surprise many of you to know the Salvation Army takes a deep and vital interest in youth and conducts a broad field of youth activities, starting with the primary classes. The Army believes in a fence at the top of the cliff as well as an ambulance at the bottom. Youngsters in the primary classes are under the careful supervision of teachers, nurses, and attendants well qualified by training, experience, and temperament to train and guide them in their early formative years. Children receive instruction in project work of all sorts and are given fullest opportunity to indulge the individual creative talents. Healthy bodies are necessary for healthy, alert minds. Well-equipped playgrounds, supervised by watchful attendants, offer a wide range of exercise and recreation to the youngsters. playground romping stimulates an enormous appetite in every one of these youngsters. Their food is tailored to best dietary requirements, and the children enjoy every bit of it. Salvation Army Boys and Girls Annual Camp is an event looked forward to with keenest anticipation by the youth from many corps in a Salvation Army territory. Many of these boys and girls are the so-called underprivileged class, and the Salvation Army defrays their camp expenses when they are unable to contribute to the cost. Regardless of race, color, or creed, these boys and girls enjoy a week's outing in a camp setting replete with recreational facilities. The end of a typical day at the Salvation Army co-ed camp. The corps captain is required to spend approximately 18 hours every week in home visiting. In calling on Mrs. Brown, he learns that her son Jimmy is in trouble with the police. Captain Smith assures Mrs. Brown he will see the judge and do what he can to solve Jimmy's difficulties. The captain and judge of Jimmy's case discuss the subject. Captain Smith offers a solution. The judge summons an officer to bring Jimmy to his chambers. Jimmy, if he wishes, may be paroled to Captain Smith and be sent to Lytton Home. Lytton Home is a non-sectarian, philanthropic educational endeavor operated by the Salvation Army. A home and school caring for the needs of less privileged, misguided, or dependent boys and girls of school age. From broken or inadequate homes, who in these rural surroundings and with a specially skilled staff can receive training and development to fit them for life as good citizens. Lytton Home girls are quartered on the upper floor of this administration building. Children of grammar school age attend their own school, staffed with county teachers. Children have odd pets, but have fun with them. Of the approximately 130 children at Lytton Home, about 30 of them attend the nearest high school. Lytton Lytton Home students rank high in their scholastic attainments, they are numerically incredibly represented on the various school athletic teams and in class clubs and societies. Lytton Home has a model 22-bed hospital. It is well staffed and equipped to take care of all but the most serious illnesses and accidents. In such events, children are cared for at the nearest county hospital. Proper care and attention keep Lytton Home health at the peak. The Lytton Hospital building was a bequest from a Salvation Army friend. The furnishings of Lytton Hospital were a gift from the beloved Will Rogers. The boys of Lytton Home are housed in cottages, each supervised by a house mother. The children at Lytton Home are given a wide latitude in arts and crafts. Counselors and instructors patiently and conscientiously strive to develop aptitudes and talents. Even the girls of Lytton are ingenious and adept with tools, as these doll houses and furniture plainly show. There are no idle hands at Lytton. Yes, there's a wealth of artistic talent at Lytton Home. Lytton has a model gymnasium, amply equipped and supervised. It contains adequate motion picture equipment, and the boys enjoy their baseball better than most. A heated swimming pool is available at all seasons and is well patronized. But a nearby river offers several pools for a change of scenery and swimming. An alert instructor is always present to develop swimming talent and guard against accidents. Jimmy has been given an excellent picture of life at Lytton. He gladly consents to be paroled to Captain Smith and to go to Lytton Home. The Corps captain has smoothed out another problem. A mother is relieved, an errant boy faces a constructive future. The policy of the Salvation Army Corps officer is definitely one of the open door. Even after office hours, he is ever ready with a helping hand to the needy. The mecca of youth representatives from Salvation Army Corps of a wide area is the annual Youth Conference. Here, delegates gather to discuss youth activities of the closing year, to make constructive plans for the coming year. It is also a period of devotion and consecration. solemn during the conference, delegates enjoy the finest kind of fun and fellowship, indulge in a bit of campus horseplay. The bell calls them to enjoy food as only youth can. Singing and music is featured. Young musicians bring their instruments and play concerts in addition to accompanying the singing. Youth leaders plan future activities. In the final session of the conference, delegates are asked to consecrate themselves for volunteer leadership tasks in their home corps. Many respond to the call. They stand before the altar, are dedicated to service under the Red Shield. The captain, with heart to God and hand to man, is an indispensable link in any community's plan of social and religious work. Directing a broad and many-sided program at a minimum of cost, he and the Salvation Army which he represents is a major asset to any community. The man behind the Red Shield is at your service.